Missouri Attorney General Catherine Hanaway is calling on the Federal Communications Commission to cut off scammers' access to legitimate phone numbers. Officials say 29.6 billion robocalls and texts led to the loss of nearly $2 billion. In addition to the FCC, attorneys are asking the federal government to make stronger rules for companies that buy and resell phone numbers, require those companies to submit reports of sales so police can track scammers to the source, require people buying phone numbers to confirm they will not use them to make illegal robocalls, block the sale of phone numbers to people not tied to a calling or texting company, and stop offering trial numbers so scammers won't take advantage of them.